On the beautiful campus of Rochester Christian University and inside of Garth Pleasant Arena, this is Warriors basketball on the Rochester Christian Sports Network. Stephen McDonald here with you saying hello everyone and welcome to our broadcast as the Rochester Christian Warriors open day 2 of the JBA Classic hosting Mount Vernon Nazarene. The Warriors come into this one just hours ago off of a win in overtime, 81-80. It was the elbow jumper by Gunnar Walters that sealed it for the Warriors in what was a back and forth game from the opening tip. And then Brody Parker sealed it on the defensive end of things, contesting the shot from the free throw line. And the Warriors survived. Again, 81-80 was your final in overtime here last night. They'll look to go 2-0 on the weekend, push their regular season record to 5-0. And again, with that win in overtime last night, the Warriors now 17-3 in their last 20 regular season home games dating back to the start of last season. We'll step aside from inside of Garth Pleasant Arena on the RC Sports Network pregame show.
What I've learned the most from golf is to have integrity in everything you say and do.
One of the biggest lessons of that sports impacts my daily life is discipline.
Be a champion of character, it just means to realize first that you're a part of something that's bigger than yourself.
Being a part of NAIA is something that I'm going to keep with me forever because it's not only made me a better athlete, but it's made me a better person.
The NAIA really just cares about their student athletes and just the experience in general at the school. And I think that's really important.
The NAIA stands for, has great core values. One that's most important to me is servant leadership. Being able to serve your community is a huge reason why I chose the NAIA.
I am a champion of character. I am a champion of character.
I am a champion of character.
I am a champion of character.
I am a champion of character.
Welcome back on the RC Sports Network pregame show. Stephen McDonald here with you. Warriors getting set to jump it up in just a moment with Mount Vernon Nazarene in day 2 of the JBA Classic, featuring the Warriors, the Cougars, the Marion Knights, who the Warriors saw last night. Again, 81-80 was the final in overtime here last night, and also Michigan Dearborn in town as well. Last night for the Warriors, Brody Parker led the way with 27, while James Fisher, for the second consecutive game, led the team in rebounds with 8. And for the 5th straight time this season, Gunnar Walters doing what he does best, leading the team in assists, had 7 last night and had 7 the game prior last Saturday against IU Northwest. Just moments away from the opening tip-off between the Warriors and the Cougars. Get to the starting lineups quickly before we send it down to the floor. For the Cougars to start out, it'll be Milton Gage, Peyton Heiss, Trent Koning, Bailey Conrad, and Carter Jones. On the other side for the Warriors, they'll stick with what's been working for head coach Clint Pleasant. It'll be Brody Parker, Gunnar Walters, Brett White, Dustin Farrow, and the big man James Fisher will jump it up here in just a moment. And for that, we send it down now to the floor to public address announcer Mark Stowers.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Garth Pleasant Arena for day 2 of the JBA Classic, beginning with today's matchup between the Mount Vernon Nazarene Cougars and your Rochester Christian University Warriors. this time, please stand, and gentlemen, remove your hats for our pregame prayer. Father in heaven, we ask your blessing on the game we are about to play. Give each one of us the courage to play this game in a manner which by our words and our actions are pleasing to you. Let us enter into this competition in a spirit of sportsmanship with respect for the members of the opposing team. We ask you, Father, to bless each one of us, especially the coaches, officials, parents, and players. Keep us under the protection of your Son, Jesus Christ, and help us be aware of his presence with us in this game this afternoon. Amen. Please remain standing for the playing of our national anthem. The starters first for Mount Vernon, wearing number 0, Milton Gage. Number 2, Peyton Heiss. Number 11, Trent Cumming. Number 32, Bailey Conrad. And number 34, Carter Jones. The head coach, Mr. Jared Ronai. Assistant is Brett Wickerman and Luke Lucas. The starters for your Rochester Christian University Warriors. A 6-foot senior guard, number 5, Brody Parker. A 6'5" freshman guard forward, number 8, Justin Farrow. A 6'5" senior forward, number 10, Brett White. A 5'11" senior guard, number 11, Connor Walker. And rounding out the line, he's a 6'9" junior center, number 24, James Fisher. Your coaching staff, Stephanie Chris Pleasant, is your head coach. Then the assistants Quinn Ryan, Derek Shearer, Scott Daniels, and Armand Cartwright.
Well, there you have it from public address announcer Mark Stowers. Warriors and Cougars just about set to jump this up. Fisher will take it for the Warriors, going against Bailey Conrad, 32 in the light blue. Warriors going with the all black here this afternoon. Ball is up and controlled by the Warriors. Fisher wins it back to Gunnar Walters. Walters last night, 10 points, 7 assists. Also added 5 rebounds as well. He'll toss this down to the baseline looking for Brett White, and that's an early turnover by Rochester Christian. Struggled in that department here last night. 18 turnovers as a team last night in the overtime win against Mary. An underhand flip looks like maybe disrupted there a bit by Fisher. Both teams come up empty on their opening possession. Walters works against Milton Gage. Gets freed up for a moment by the screen by Fisher. Parker wants a three, splash. Brody Parker picks right back up where he left off last night, went 3 of 6 from three-point range. That accounted for half of the Warriors' threes last night. Only shot at 6 of 20 as a team as this three's off the mark. Dustin Farrow got a hand on it, but it's tapped out of bounds and will go the other way. Brody finished 8 of 19 from the floor last night, 27 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists. Also put in work on the defensive end with 3 steals and contested on that final shot of overtime to seal the win for Rochester Christian. He has it now, goes just above the free throw line to James Fisher. Parker, 10 to shoot, pulls up long 2 off the front. And the rebound controlled by Peyton Heiss. Steps into a 3, spins it out, rebound Fisher. Fisher playing through 4 fouls last night, still finished with 8 points and 8 rebounds. They'll bounce it into him, goes up and under, and scores for 2. Fisher gets an early one, 3 on the way, and it rattles in. Trent Koning for 3. Comes in leading the Cougars at just under 16 points per game on the year. Swing it this side to Brett White. Dustin Farrow with it, driving in with 10 to shoot. Tosses back outside for Gunnar Walters. White for 3, splash. Couple early threes for the Warriors. That's a good sign as they only shot it around 30% last night. Koning for 3 again, gets knocked down, doesn't get the shot, but he'll get 3 free throws. Foul goes on Brody. That's his first, team's first. That'll send Koning to the line for 3. Koning can fill it up. Mentioned comes into the weekend averaging just about 16 points per game as he knocks down the first free throw. Had 27 against Trinity Christian in a game earlier on. So far good at the line, 2 out of 2, has one more coming his way as we're about 3 minutes in already. Lines up the third and nothing but net. White going to work on Milton Gage, pivots, goes baseline, floats, doesn't go, but the follow-up does. Followed his own miss and got the tip in to go. Getting inside was Carter Jones for 2. Some fast pace, up and down action. And that'll be an offensive foul on Brody Parker as he pushed off before elevating. That'll be his second. Tomias Williams comes in. Here's Jones, reverses it for Koning. Koning off to a hot start so far in this one. Sends it outside for three. Bailey Conrad for three, and the Cougars take the lead 11-10. Cougars with a decisive win last night as the three is off by Brett White against Michigan Dearborn. They'll get it over Koning, steps into a three again. He gets knocked down, but no call this time. And it looks like Koning just got teed up, went down to the floor as Tamias Williams came out to contest the three. And it looks like the official is going to call him for a flop.
That'll be a technical foul on number 11, Trent Koning. That'll be a personal and team foul.
So they do get Koning for the technical. The free throw isn't going to go for Gunnar Walters. 15:38 to go in the first half. Stephen McDonald here with you on the RC Sports Network. So it'll be a sideline inbound. When we get back to the action, the officials getting together to talk this one over. Looks like they want to take an extra second to discuss. Shouldn't be the call here because it was a technical on Koning. Tamias Williams, when we're set to go, waiting to inbound right along his bench next to Coach Pleasant. Head coach for the Cougars is Jared Roney in his 11th season. Does have some Division I and Division II stops previously in his career. Coached at Division II Ashland University and was also an assistant for Division I UNC Asheville prior to landing here with the Cougars. Was also the strength and conditioning intern with the U.S. Naval Academy once upon a time. But again, officials getting together to discuss this call. The call, if you're just joining us, was a technical on Trent Konig as he went down to the floor on a contested three. The call was that he flopped. And after all that, we're back. It'll be Warriors basketball with Gunnar Walters. Walters did miss the technical foul free throw, would have tied us at 11 had he knocked it down. Williams going to back his way in on Carter Jones. He'll lean back, doesn't get the shot, but looks like he'll get a foul call. Foul does go against Carter Jones. That'll be his first and team's first. Brody Parker has the 2 fouls so far for the Warriors. Inbound comes to Brett White. He'll back his way in, tosses back outside for Williams. 10 to shoot for the Warriors. Walters tries to turn the corner, pumps the brakes, and that ball comes up empty. Both teams shooting it pretty well out of the gate. Almost 43% for the Cougars so far, 50% for the Warriors. Jones wants to reverse it for Koning. Stops just inside the free throw line, gets it back outside with 8 to shoot. Have to get up a shot with 4 seconds. Jones backing his way in, sends it outside with 1. Koning for 3. Rebound pulled down by Fisher. And that's not the guy that you want to leave alone out there in the corner. That was Koning wide open for 3 with 1 to shoot. Send it inside for Fisher in a crowd and lays it in. Warriors get the lead back by 1. 3 on the way, wrapped out. Looked like it might fall, but it just popped out at the last second. Walters goes in, drops it off baseline for Fisher, who puts it in, counted in a foul. That'll send us to the media timeout. 13:54 to go in the first half. Warriors lead it by 3. Fisher will shoot a free throw when we come back, and he's been solid at the line so far this season. But for now, it's the Warriors by 3 on the RC Sports Network.
What I've learned the most from golf is to have integrity in everything you say and do.
One of the biggest lessons of that sports impacts my daily life is discipline.
Be a champion of character. It just means to realize first that you're a part of something that's bigger than yourself.
Being a part of NAIA is something that I'm going to keep with me forever because it's not only made me a better athlete, but it's made me a better person.
The NAIA really just cares about their student athletes and just the experience in general at the school. I think that's really important.
The NAIA stands for, has great core values. One that's most important to me is servant leadership. Being able to serve your community is a huge reason why I chose the NAIA.
I am a champion of character.
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 Warriors lead it by 3 on the lay-in by James Fisher before the media timeout. He'll get a free throw as we make our way back out of the break. And Fisher has been solid at the free throw line this season. 13 out of 16, good for about 81% on the year. Did not shoot a free throw in last night's game. He'll go up with it and come up short. And Farrow going to get called for the push on the rebound. So the Warriors, after shooting it upwards of 80% at the line last night, 0 for 2 to begin this one, and the lead stays at 3. Trent Koning has it. He's got 6 early points. Floating in the lane, too strong. Rebound tapped by Fisher. And they'll say last touch on its way out by the Cougars. So Fisher missed that free throw a moment ago, but with that lay-in before the timeout, 6 points, 3 rebounds to begin the day for him. Swing it this way, Ashton Gould wants the 3. Fisher tried to go upstairs for the rebound, doesn't come down with it. Instead, it's in the hands of Milton Gage. 3 is up and too long by Mason Harvey, who's checked in. Walters crosses over, spirals back, drops it off baseline looking for Gould. Extra pass, lay in, no, but a whistle and a foul as James Fisher went in for the lay-in. That'll be the 3rd team foul on the Cougars. First on Mason Harvey, the freshman out of Richmond, Indiana. Fisher rips the net on the first free throw. .13:01 to go in the first half. Second free throw by Fisher comes up short again. Second time in 3 tries that Fisher has come up short. Milton Gage on the drive, stumbled, lost the handle. It's a 2-on-2 the other way. Lob it for Gould. Too strong on the finish. Follow-up, no. And they'll say Wave off the basket after all that. Warriors bench, and specifically assistant coach Quinn Rice, was looking for a review there. Coach Pleasant joined in on that, but the officials say play on. Sideline three doesn't go by Trent Koning. And we do, inside of Garth Pleasant Arena, we do have the capability of going to replay. We saw it very late in the game last night on that final possession in overtime that was overturned. They originally said it was Warriors basketball, went to review at the timeout, overturned it, and gave the ball back to Marion with a chance to win it with 5 seconds to go. Warriors stood tall and came away with the 1-point win. Send it outside to Milton Gage. Backs up, flips it outside. 3 on the way from straight out by Carter Jones. And now we see across the way Coach Pleasant having a word with the official, and you would bet that it's about not getting that review. But either way, 15-11 is our score. Middle stages of our first half, 11:49 to go in the half. James Fisher has 7 to lead everyone, also has 4 rebounds. Trent Koning leads the Cougars with 6. Backing his way in, throws up a shot, and runs off the rim from Tamias Williams. In transition, 3 does not go. Fight for the rebound, and looks like we'll head the other way on a foul. Devin Dreyer hit with his first, team's 5th. And similar to what we saw last night now, the Warriors have a chance to get in the bonus with plenty of time left in this first half. Saw that in both halves yesterday against Marion as they were able to get their way into the bonus with about 10-11 minutes left in each half. And it's looking like they're on pace to do that yet again. The Warriors hit with a foul of their own. That'll be their 4th and the first on Walters. So all of a sudden, after a fast-paced start to our basketball game, the scoring has come to a screeching halt, still 15-11. Cougars all the way down to 21% shooting on 3 of 14. The Warriors still hovering at about 43%. This ball's poked away and stolen by Williams. 3-on-2 the other way. Walters going to go in, comes up short, and that's a blocking foul, and that'll be 2 shots for Gunnar Walters. That'll be the 6th foul on Mount Vernon. Walters will shoot 2. Warriors slow start at the line, just 1 out of 4, and make it 1 out of 5. Cougars have hit the only 3 free throws that they've attempted in this one, and that was a foul on a 3-point try by Trent Koning, as the second one falls for Walters. Here's Peyton Heiss, hangs onto it, trying to look for a cutter-off ball, and Beatty Lori, backing his way in, got it tipped by Ashton Gould, who came in to help Fisher. Off and running is Walters, stops at the free throw line, dumps it over to Williams, extra pass down low. Fisher can't finish on the turn. 10 minutes to go in the first half. Warriors 16 and Mount Vernon 11. Eyeing the 3 from the wing, Isaiah Brown. Third 3 of the game for Mount Vernon. They're 3 out of 12. Swing it far side of the floor for Gould, who's going to spiral, underhand flip, off the heel. Rebound comes down to Isaiah Brown. Another three is up and too strong, this time by Conrad. Heiss off a screen, kicks it to the logo, straightaway three rattles out. And now on the floor, Brett White gets a hand on it. Looking inside for Williams. He'll body his way in. White steps into a three, got the three. Warriors 3 out of 5 from three-point range. Trying to answer back at the other end is Isaiah Brown, the freshman out of Olentangy, Ohio. Brett White, back-to-back buckets, 5 quick points for him, and the Warriors now up a touchdown with 8.5 to go in the half. Warriors shooting it at 44%, 8 out of 18. 10 to shoot for the Cougars. 3 is up, left-handed shot, and that's in for Peyton Heiss. First bucket for Heiss, he's 1 out of 2. Koning still leads their team with 6, while Brett White, those 5 quick points, has 10 and make it 12. Brett White has come alive. He had 20 here last night in the win. He's already got 12, and we still have 7.5 to go in the first half. Crossover dribble, that's loose, and the runway is clear for Tamias Williams, who flushes it home. Williams has been very active on the defensive end here in the first half, and he gets rewarded with the steal and the slam. Going in, off glass, good by B.D. Lori. Up the floor it goes to Williams. Fisher on the throwdown, on the backdoor feed by Williams. The Warriors starting to flex some muscle. They lead it 27-19 with 6:46 to go in the first half, and that's a timeout called by the Cougars. We will step aside from inside of Garth Pleasant Arena as the Warriors lead it 27-19 on the RC Sports Network. Warriors lead 27-19, 6:46 to go in the first half. Timeout was called by head coach Jared Ronai and the Cougars, as things have started to slip away from them here in just the last 2 minutes or so. Brett White, 12 points, couple rebounds. James Fisher, 9 points and 5 rebounds. Tamias Williams got the steal and the breakaway dunk, and then gets the assist on the James Fisher flush that sent us to the timeout on the floor. On the floor, out of the timeout for the Warriors, it'll be Walters, Parker, Farrow, White, and Polatoglu. So basically the starting 5 for Coach Pleasant, but just swap out James Fisher. Warriors looking to go 2-0 on the weekend. If they can, would be the second consecutive weekend going 2-0. Would push their season record to 5-0 with a big conference opening matchup looming in just a couple of days as they'll travel to Cornerstone on Wednesday. Cornerstone a couple of weeks ago had a big win against a top 10 opponent, and always a tough team to play at their place out in Grand Rapids, but the Warriors will look to finish this one out here today and try to go 2-0 on the weekend. Inside, lay-in does not go, contested by Peyton Heiss. Next time that we'll see the Warriors here, as Farrow thought about the three, he'll walk in and come up short on the lay-in, will be Tuesday, just a few days before Thanksgiving. The Warriors will be back here for a doubleheader matchup with Lourdes. Jones goes in, drops it inside, and the rebound comes off the deck to Polatoglu. 5:45 to go in the first half. Posted up, going baseline is Farrow. He walks the line but stepped out of bounds. Conrad comes in. To the bench goes Mason Harvey. Milton Gage lost it. Cougars maintain possession. Three is off the mark by Heiss. Stretch it up the floor. White left alone in transition. Can't make the Cougars pay with the three. Heiss will slow it down in the front court. Milton Gage worked it over to Trent Koenig. Gets it right back from him. He'll skip it this side. Three is on the way. Pops out for Bailey Conrad. Slow start to this one for Conrad. Just 1 out of 5 for him so far. Stopping at the free throw line after getting the feed was Brody Parker. He'll throw one up with the right hand. Gage. This way, now skip it across far side to Koenig. Closing out on the shot was Farrow, but dropping it in was Bailey Conrad for three. Conrad came into the weekend averaging about 11 points per game. Posted up for Polatoglu. 5-point lead for the Warriors. 4 minutes to play in the half. 8 to shoot as that ball's slapped away and held in by Trent Koenig. He'll put his head down, try to get all the way to the rim. Underhand flip does not go, but a whistle and a foul as he goes down to the floor. Looks like they're going to get Brett White for the foul. That'll send us to the under 4 media timeout. We've got 3:53 to go in the first half. The Warriors lead it by 5 on the Rochester Christian Sports Network.
The value of champions character across all institutions is a message that we can all get behind.
The purpose behind Champions of Character is to have that student-athlete experience be one of growth.
Men's basketball on campus, we make sure that we give back with a smile and with a purpose.
Our goal as coaches is for our players to lead being better men, better husbands, better fathers, and better members in their community.
NAIA is Champions of Character.
Foul went against Brett White. That's his first, team's 5th. Brett White has a game-high 12 points so far, also 3 rebounds and 1 assist. Trent Koning, who got fouled by Brett White before the media timeout, has 6 points. Just 1 of 5 from the floor, though, but benefited from a foul on a three-pointer very early on in this one. He knocked down all 3 free throws. And that is where we currently stand. Back out of the timeout, it should be Trent Koenig, to shoot some free throws. He is the one standing at the free throw line. Koenig out there with Bailey Conrad, Carter Jones, Milton Gage, and looks like Peyton Heiss. Warriors going with Brody Parker, Walters, Williams, Fisher, and Farrow as the free throw's good. One more at the line for Trent Koenig. Lines up the second and drops it in. Back to a three-point game, and now some pressure being applied by the Cougars. Nearly came away with it there to Trent Koenig, and if he had gotten his hand on it, was right underneath the basket. Trying to save it on the baseline, unable to do so was Gunnar Walters. That's another turnover by Rochester Christian. That'll be the 4th turnover by the Warriors so far. 3 is up by Conrad, off the back of the iron. Rebound tapped out right in front of the Warriors bench, and they'll say we'll stay at this end, as it looked like Heiss was able to just tap it off the leg of Tamias Williams right as they stepped out of bounds. 3:23 to go in the first half, 27-24 our score. Stephen MacDonald here with you on the RC Sports Network. Ball poked away and stolen by Williams. That'll be his 2nd steal of the day. His first was on a breakaway dunk. Parker driving, stopping, turning, and scoring. Backing his way down, turning is Conrad, left it short of the rim. Fisher tapped it and picked off the floor by Gunnar Walters. He'll work to his right off the screen by Fisher, steps back and drains it. Couple quick points by the Warriors. First it was Brody Parker, then Gunnar Walters for 2, pushes that lead back out to 7. Heiss wants a 3, not going to get it. Battle for the rebound over in the corner. Walters saved it, but he saved it to Heiss, and that's going to be a blocking foul called on Dustin Farrow, the freshman. That'll be the 6th team foul on the Warriors, so 6 fouls going either direction. That'll be the 2nd on Farrow. And that'll put the Cougars back at the free throw line where they've been solid so far today, 5 out of 5. 2:17 to go in the first half. Carter Jones at the free throw line, misses on the first. Jones came into the weekend averaging 9 points per game on about 28 minutes per contest. Playing in career game number 74 this afternoon. Goes up with the 2nd and knocks it down. 1 out of 2 at the line for him. And again, showing that trap on the inbound. Walters able to get it over to Williams, who floats, won't hit. And then it's tapped out of bounds by the Cougars. Walters to inbound, tosses outside Parker for three. It won't go. Milton Gage into the front court. Send it straight away for Bailey Conrad. Outside for Koning. Parker stumbles, goes down, underhand flip, runs out. And then a bump and a foul as the Warriors try to push it up the floor. Looks like it's going to go on Conrad. Behind the play, Walters and Trent Koning getting a little tangled up there. And Walters had a quick word with the official about it. That foul on Mount Vernon, the 7th. So the Warriors in the bonus as Parker goes to the free throw line and sinks the first. Looks like Ashton Gould will check in just a moment. That foul on Conrad, just his first. One more free throw for Parker, and it's good. Brody Parker hits the free throws. Ashton Gould will come in for him. A minute 42 to go in the first half. For Parker, after those free throws, 7 points, 2 rebounds on 2 of 5 shooting. Those were his only 2 free throws so far of this one. Went 8 for 8 at the line here last night. 10 to shoot for the Cougars. They get it over to Carter Jones with 5. 3 is on the way from Conrad. Again, too strong by number 32 in the blue. Has not had a very efficient first half. Just 2 out of 9 with that last miss and 2 out of 7 from 3-point range. Fisher turns and it won't go. He's frustrated with himself for the miss, but he will get 2 free throws. That'll be the second on Carter Jones. Fisher 1 out of 3 at the line so far. He's got 9 points and 5 rebounds. Came into this one an 81% free throw shooter. First one's up and good. The Warriors as a team, around 80% at the free throw line this season, have had multiple games going 80% or better already this year, as the second one does not go for James Fisher. Here's Gage. Sends it outside with 10 to shoot, 36 to go in the first half. Spinning, hooking, and hitting is Bailey Conrad. That ball poked loose on the inbound. Koning comes up with it. Shot clock is off for the final 23 seconds. And this will be a turnover on the near sideline. Good job there by Brett White. Wasn't able to get to the basketball, but cut off the path of the Cougars player to make sure they couldn't get to it either. And it rolls out on the near sideline just in front of us. 18.9 seconds to go in the half. And the Warriors by 7. Ten seconds to go in the half. Fisher comes out to screen. He'll reset it for Walters. Into the corner, goes for 3. And that's too strong by Ashton Gould. Heave at the buzzer, too strong. And that is how we will end the first half of play. The Warriors lead at 34 to 27 at the break. Brett White with a game-high 12, also has 4 rebounds and 1 assist. Went 5 out of 7 from the floor in that first 20 minutes. James Fisher, the other Warrior in double figures, has 10 and 5 rebounds. On the other side, it's Trent Koning with 8 points, and Conrad with that hook shot there just a moment ago finished with 8 as well. Also pair of rebounds for him, but going just 3 of 10 from the floor in that first half of play. Mount Vernon as a team shooting at only 23% in the first half, but still find themselves down by only 7. Warriors shoot at 46% and 43% from three-point range on limited attempts, only 7 attempts in that first half, to 24 by Mount Vernon Nazarene. They go 5 out of 24 from three-point range, but the Warriors only 5 of 10 at the free throw line in that first half for a team that in their first 5 games, including the exhibition with the Oakland Golden Grizzlies, have shot it very well at the free throw line as a team, but doing better in the turnover department in that first half than where they were yesterday. Had just 5 turnovers in this first half. We go to the break with the Warriors leading 34-27, second half coming your way next. Second half just about ready to get going between the Warriors and the Cougars. 34-27 was our halftime score. Brett White finished the first half with 12 points and 4 rebounds. James Fisher not too far behind him, 10 points and 5 rebounds on the other side for Mount Vernon Nazarene. 8 points apiece for Trent Koning and Bailey Conrad. Cougars did not shoot it at a high percentage in that first half, just 23% from the floor and 21% from three-point range. But even despite that, find themselves within striking distance, down by just 7. As we get set to begin the second half of our contest from Garth Pleasant Arena, Stephen MacDonald here with you on the RC Sports Network. Upcoming schedule for the Warriors after their game today against the Cougars. They'll go out on the road to begin WAC play on Wednesday night against Cornerstone. They'll return on the 26th to take on Lourdes. Then we turn it over to the month of December. On Wednesday the 4th, they'll be at Aquinas. And then on the 7th at Madonna, they'll come back home the 14th of December to play Lawrence Tech. As we get underway with our second half of business between the Warriors and the Cougars, backing his way in is Bailey Conrad. He'll hook and score. Again, it was not a very efficient first half for the Cougars, and in particular Bailey Conrad, but still with that last basket getting into double figures with 10. Bounce pass looking for Fisher is offline and taken away by Peyton Heiss. Here's Conrad again, working against Fisher, stops, sends it outside to Gage. 3 on the way, pops out for Conrad. Tracking it over on the far sideline was Dustin Farrow. A minute into our second half. The lone basket so far was a 2 by Conrad. Here's Fisher, bounce pass to a cutting Gunnar Walters, had it rejected. It stayed in and is controlled by Trent Koning. Here's Gage. Gage playing in career game number 60 today. Send it outside, swing it around the arc for Heiss. 10 to shoot. He'll back it out, working against Brody Parker. 3 is on the way, too strong by Bailey Conrad. Brett White was on the closeout. 13 to shoot off the reset. Underhand flip goes off glass for Trent Koning. And it's back to within 3. Couple quick points for the Cougars. Walters is going to drive against Gage. Flips it far corner. 3 on the way by Farrow. Ran it around the rim and out. On the run is Gage. Heiss wants the 3, got the 3, and we're tied at 34. 7-0 run in the first 2.5 minutes for Mount Vernon Nazarene. They got 2s by Conrad and Koning, and then a 3 by Heiss. Gage outside, left alone for 3. That's good. Heiss for 3. It's a 3-point lead for the Cougars and a 10-0 run to start the second half. Walters for three. That won't go either. Rebound comes down to Gage. He'll step into a three. Off the front of the iron, offensive rebound. That's blocked by Fisher. They'll go down to the floor for it. Picked up there by Trent Koning. And Milton Gage says, let's slow it down here. Working his way through the middle. Finger roll does not go. Warriors get a stop, but it's a 10-0 run. Go inside looking for Fisher, and reaching over was Carter Jones. Whistle and a foul inside. That'll be the third on Jones. Isaiah Brown and Mason Harvey come in. Baseline inbound for the Warriors. Parker pulls up off the inbound, that's off the back. And the rebound to Koning. Jones for three. Had a lot of heat on it. They'll reset things a bit. Driving right is Koning. Flips it up and fills it up. And the run continues by the Cougars. It's a 12-0 run currently as they post it up for Fisher, working against Mason Harvey. Harvey gets the foul trying to defend James Fisher. Fisher will go to the free throw line, looking to, at least for the moment, halt this run by the Cougars. It's a 12-0 run currently. First free throw too strong. Short rest for Bailey Conrad. He comes in for Carter Jones. He was the one that started this 12-0 run by Mount Vernon. Second free throw is good. First point of the second half for the Warriors comes at the 15:40 mark of the second half. Driving is Gage, slams on the brakes, sends it outside. They'll work it over to the far side, and pulling it back out is Isaiah Brown. For three, and that's through by Bailey Conrad. White driving through a crowd, throws it up and scores it. But what of a turn of events we have seen as this bounce pass goes baseline and the underhand flip goes. Warriors able to break the trap, get it over to Gunnar Walters. Down low goes to Fisher. With some contact, doesn't finish the shot. Samias Williams will check in on the next dead ball. Three is up and good! My goodness, another three. This time, looks like by Mason Harvey. Brody Parker works to the middle, floats and does not go, but a whistle and a foul. That'll be the third team foul on the Cougars. But what a start to the second half. The Cougars had 27 points at the break. They've already put up 20 here, and there's still 14-14 to go in the game. They've outscored the Warriors 20-3 to start the second half, and they lead it by 10. We'll take a timeout on the floor on the RC Sports Network. The Warriors led at the break 34-27. If you're just joining us on the RC Sports Network, Stephen McDonald here with you. But in the last 5 minutes and about 45 seconds, it has been an absolute ambush by Mount Vernon to the tune of 20-3 as we make our way back out of the timeout called. It was a media timeout with 14-14 to go in the game. Brody Parker will shoot free throws as we come back. It's been a struggle for the Warriors today at the line, just 6 out of 12, but Brody sinks the first. Warriors shot it well at the line last night, missed just 2 of them as Brody Parker steps up and sinks both. But the Warriors still trailing 39-47. Shot clock down to 15. 3 is on the way. That won't go. Brody Parker contested it. The follow-up does go as it pinballs and falls. With that basket, Mount Vernon now shooting 33% for the game as that ball's tipped. That's 10% higher than where they were at the break. Fisher's going to work his way in. Lays it in, but waved the basket off. Foul came before he turned the corner. Mason Harvey hit with his fourth, team's fourth. Carter Jones will come back for him as Harvey picks up his fourth. White trying to go into the middle, attacking against Jones, and gets it to creep over the front. Warriors down but not out, but they certainly took the best punch that Mount Vernon has to offer. That was tipped and stolen by the Warriors, but Bailey Conrad stepped in front of the passing lane. Lay-in won't go at the other end for Carter Jones, but a whistle and a foul. Clock stops with 13 minutes even to go in our game. First foul of the second half going on Rochester Christian as they get Brett White for his second. 49-41, Mount Vernon has flipped the script here in the second half, 22-7 here in the second. Put up 27 in the first half. First free throw is good by Carter Jones. Bailey Conrad with 13 and 3 rebounds. Trent Koning with 12 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists to lead Mount Vernon. On the other side, Brett White with 16 and 5 rebounds. James Fisher with 11 and 5. 2 at the line for Carter Jones. Pushes it back out to a 10-point differential. Walters goes straight away for Brett White. They'll send it back across the floor. That pass was low, intended for Gunnar Walters, and he picked it up out of bounds. They'll give Williams the turnover there for the low pass. That's turnover number 9 by the Warriors today. Near side corner for Koning. He'll walk the line, sends it back out for Jones, who goes in too strong as that was contested by Fisher. Walters, head down, gets to the rim, score it, but wave it off. Foul, they say, came before the shot, so no continuation there. Still 51-41, 12:23 to go in the basketball game. Inbound comes to Fisher. Here's Parker, long two on the way. Jumps off the rim, rebound to Conrad. Koning for three. Spins it out. Rebound Fisher. They'll lob it up the floor looking for White. He'll run the floor and lay it in. We'll see if that can get the Warriors going. They get the stop on the defensive end. They get out in transition, and Brett White gets the finish. Here's Carter Jones. He's defended by Fisher. They've got Bailey Conrad matched up on Tamias Williams. Williams gets a hand on it, knocks it out of bounds, will stay at this end. Milton Gage and B.D. Lori come in. Lori, a redshirt freshman out of Caldwell, Ohio. 5 to shoot. It's in the hands of Carter Jones. He gives it up to Heiss, has to hoist. A line drive, no good. Got his own miss. Jones thought about it, backs it out for Conrad. Conrad has been hot to start the second half. Heiss, corner pocket three, not going to go for him either. Warriors get another stop. We'll see if they can turn it into points. Trailing by 8 with 11 minutes to go. High post on the wing for Williams, leans back, it's off the heel, rebound down to Lori. Conrad steps into a three, left all alone. Conrad for three again. That's his fourth of the day. He's got 16. White goes into the painted area, can't finish, goes down to the floor and draws the foul. That'll be number 6 on the Cougars. The next will put the Warriors in the bonus the rest of the way. There's 10:20 to go in the basketball game. But they have struggled uncharacteristically at the line today, 8 out of 14 as Brett White knocks down the first. The red hot Bailey Conrad will sit. As Brett White steps up to the line and knocks down both, gets it back to within 10. Warriors getting outscored here in the second half, 27-11. 3 is up by Heiss, and it comes down the Warriors' way with Brody Parker. He'll accelerate, pumps the brakes, and scores. All of a sudden, the Warriors back to within 7, 54-47 inside of 10 to play. Outside it goes. Corner three, rattles in for Dreer. Parker gets the feed, rises for three, skims off the rim. Rochester Christian, a hard-fought win here last night in overtime, 81-80. They've got their work cut out for them now. Extra pass, far corner, it's in! And counted on a foul for B.D. Lori. That'll be the third on Brett White, team second. Edie Laurie with the three. It's 60-47. Mount Vernon Nazarene out in front. Lori will get a free throw when we come back from Garth Pleasant Arena on the RC Sports Network.
The value of champions character across all institutions is a message that we can all get behind.
The purpose behind Champions of Character is to have that student-athlete experience be one of growth.
Men's basketball on campus, we make sure that we give back with a smile and with a purpose.
Our goal as coaches is for our players to leave being better men, better husbands, better fathers, and better members in their community.
NAIA is Champions of Character.
Mount Vernon Nazarene out in front, 60-47. Edie Lori hit a corner three on the right side of your screen and got fouled. So as we make our way back out of the timeout with 9:11 to go, he will step to the line to shoot one. As it looks like the Marion Knights have filed in now to Garth Pleasant Arena. They'll take on Michigan Dearborn about a half hour after our game concludes. Edie Lori at the free throw line as we make our way back. He'll knock it down. But a wild turn of events here in the second half. Warriors had the lead by 7 at the break. It's been all Mount Vernon here in the second half. Whistle and a foul as Brett White went baseline. With that foul, the Warriors in the bonus the rest of the way. So that will certainly help their cause if they can hit some of these free throws, currently sitting at 62% on the day at the line, 10 out of 16. And currently facing a 14-point deficit with just under 9 minutes to play. Warriors 4-0 on the young season. Have a big conference opening game on Wednesday looming as White knocks down the first free throw. Game coming up on Wednesday on the road at Cornerstone. Both teams receiving votes currently in the national polls as White comes in and drops both free throws. Back into the game is Bailey Conrad. Figured his break wasn't going to last too long with how he's played here in the second half. Carter Jones has it now. Gets a switch on to Brody Parker. He'll pivot, hook. It won't fall. Williams the board. 8.5 to go in the basketball game. 61-49. Lob it down low. Fisher gets bumped. Doesn't matter. He scored it anyway. Give the assist to Gunnar Walters there. Koning off a curl for three. The rebound was tapped into the hands of Walters. He wants to accelerate, going coast to coast. It does not go. Tried to lean back off some contact on the run. Get it over to Peyton Heiss. Heiss 9 points, 9 rebounds in this one. Has a chance for a double-double this afternoon. Going up for the rebound, whistle and a foul. Looks like they got Walters for his second. That'll be the team's third. 7:39 to go, 10-point basketball game. Mount Vernon outscoring the Warriors 34-17 so far in this second half. Reversed the basketball to Koning, lost it into the hands of Brett White. He'll gallop in, goes off glass, no, blocking foul called. And Brett White will go to the line. Peyton Heiss whistled for his fourth. Warriors were already in the bonus because of the previous foul. Clock stops with 7:26 to go, and this is where, if you're Rochester Christian, you can crawl your way back into this game down 10. Get downhill, attack the rim like Brett White did there, get to the free throw line and hit a few free throws. Up with the first and good. Isaiah Brown will come in. Brett White has one more coming his way at the line. Good on both. Cuts into that deficit a bit and gets it down to 8. Both Marian University and Michigan Dearborn are on hand for the final 7:15 of this one. Their game will take place just about a half hour after this one wraps up. Lob it inside, looking for Conrad, and what's the call here? Looks like they'll say a hold and a foul on Rochester Christian. Looked like the official initially almost called a travel there. But the foul goes on Brody Parker, his third, and team's fourth. Long three on the way, and that's an air ball by Mason Harvey as we hit exactly 7 minutes to go. And again, the Warriors down, but not quite out. If they can still string a few more stops together, Mount Vernon looking to complete their comeback. So the shot clock went off, but I'm not sure after the air ball by Mason Harvey that the shot clock ever reset. So they'll stop play with 6:46 to go. The shot clock goes back up to 30, but I'm sure they'll have to discuss where to put it back to, as it never reset to begin with. So both teams will head back to their respective benches while the officials talk this one over. Upcoming schedule for the Warriors after this one, they'll be at Cornerstone on Wednesday. Already mentioned that. Both teams receiving votes in the NAIA poll. Then they'll come back home on Tuesday the 26th, just days before Thanksgiving, to take on Lourdes. The women will be in action that night as well against Lourdes. The men's game will get started around 7:30 Eastern. Both games right here for you on the RC Sports Network. Then we flip the calendar to December. They'll be at Aquinas on the 4th and at Madonna on the 7th before coming back to Garth Pleasant Arena on the 14th to take on Lawrence Tech. Again, the women will be in action that afternoon again, as well against the Blue Devils. Their game expected to get started around 1 p.m. Eastern. The men will follow around 3 p.m. So here we go after the conversation with our officiating crew. 6:46 to go in the basketball game. They set the clock down to 16 on the shot clock. As again, the air ball by Mason Harvey never reset the shot clock. Fish gets the offensive rebound, can't get the putback to fall, but James Fisher gets the foul and will go to the free throw line. That'll be the 5th on Harvey. Sounds like Fisher will get 2 here in an 8-point game. Still plenty of time remaining. Knocks down the first. And all of a sudden, if James Fisher can hit this second free throw, Mount Vernon making them have to work for it these final 6 minutes and change, and he does just that. Koning, bounce pass for Conrad. He'll go down to the baseline, sends it far corner for Milton Gage. Swing it back around the perimeter into the hands of Carter Jones, who picks up the dribble. 8 to shoot. And that rattles home on the far side for Trent Koning. It's been all Conrad and Koning here in the second half for Mount Vernon. White steps into a 3. That's off the front of the iron. Fisher tried to get a hand on it. 64-55, inside of 6 to play. Conrad hands off to Koning. Conrad has 16, Koning has 15. Heiss has 9. On the other side for the Warriors, Brett White, 24 points, 6 rebounds, and James Fisher, 15.7 rebounds, as Conrad misses on the 3. Carter Jones tapped the rebound, and it's picked up by Gunnar Walters. He switches on to Carter Jones off the screen by Brett White. They'll lob it this way for Williams, who misses on the 3. Gets the offensive rebound, tosses outside. Walters left-handed triple. You betcha! Walters knocked one down last night. He hits one here with 5:03 to go. Gets it back to within range for the Warriors, and a timeout called. We will step aside quickly from Garth Pleasant Arena. 64-58 our score on the RC Sports Network. As we make our way back out of the timeout, Gunnar Walters just tripled to get it back to within 6. There's 5:03 to go in the basketball game. Out there for Rochester Christian, it's Walters, Parker, Fisher, Williams, and Brett White. White pins it to the backboard for the block. The Warriors have a chance to get it down to 1 possession. If they hit a 3 here, they'll float it in the direction of Brett White. He'll spiral, put up the shot. A whistle and a foul before he went up. Again, the Warriors in the bonus, so it'll mean free throws for Brett White. The Warriors as a team only with 4 fouls, so they do have some fouls to give here for the final 4:38. But Brett White at the line where he's 6 out of 6 today, and make it 7 for 7. Peyton Heiss comes back in for the Cougars. He's got 9 and 9 rebounds and still has just over 4.5 minutes to go for a double-double, as Brett White sinks both, and it's a 4-point game with 4:38 to go. Timeout on the floor with 4:38. Brett White up to 26 with those 2 free throws, 8 out of 12 from the floor, 2 of 4 from 3-point range, and a perfect 8 out of 8 at the free throw line. The Warriors are within 4 on the RC Sports Network.
The value of champions character across all institutions is a message that we can all get behind.
The purpose behind Champions of Character is to have that student-athlete experience be one of growth.
Men's basketball on campus, we make sure that we give back with a smile and with a purpose.
Our goal as coaches is for our players to leave being better men, better husbands, better fathers, and better members in their community.
NAIA is Champions of Character.
"64-60 is our score. Just over 4.5 to go in the basketball game. From inside of Garth Pleasant Arena, Stephen McDonald here with you as always. Rhett White, a perfect 8 out of 8 at the free throw line today, knocked down 2 just before the break to get it back to within 4. And it seems at this point in time the Warriors have survived the punch thrown by Mount Vernon Nazarene as they came storming out of the gates to start the second half to the tune of 20-3. But the Warriors, despite that, are back to within 4, as you might be able to hear on the broadcast wherever you're watching from. They were playing the Rocky theme song during that timeout, and that seems pretty fitting with how the Warriors took that punch by the Cougars, and that's a travel by Carter Jones. Forgot to put it on the deck before he went in motion. Warriors basketball with 4:25 to go. And again, the Warriors will play this one out in the bonus. They only have 4 fouls going against them, so they have fouls to give if they need it. Walters gets a screen from Fisher, thought about the 3, has to back it out to Parker with 10 to shoot. Screen by Fisher, step up for 3, that's off. Fisher goes slamming down to the floor, and a whistle and a foul as he looks to be okay. He hit the ground hard, and he'll stay down for a moment, but he does look to be okay. But again, he went down hard. Both players went down hard with 3:59 remaining. Fisher draws the foul, so he'll shoot the free throws. And good to see him up and on his feet. Mentioned Warriors didn't start out the game shooting particularly well at the free throw line. We're only at about 50% at one point in time. They've raised that now to 75% as they're 18 out of 24 rather. Fisher's first free throw does fall. Fisher 6 out of 10 at the line today. He has 16 points, 7 rebounds, and 1 more free throw upcoming. That does go. Needed some help from the iron, but it goes in, and the lead is now 2 for Mount Vernon. The crowd is back, and the Crimson Crazies just to our left are chanting defense. With 15 on the shot clock, Carter Jones puts it down working against Fisher, stops, floats it back outside, and it's picked off by Tomias Williams. The Warriors can tie or take the lead with 3.5 to go in the basketball game. Walters has it. He's got Conrad on him, floats it for Williams. Back outside, Brett White, 15 on the possession. They'll go straight away for Gunnar Walters, still has Conrad on him. Extra pass down low for Fisher, 7 to shoot. Williams outside, Parker for 3 in the lead. Yes! The crowd is on its feet in Garth Pleasant Arena. That's a timeout called by the Cougars. With 3 minutes to go in the basketball game, Brody Parker triples, and it's 65-64. Timeout on the floor. We'll take it with them on the RC Sports Network.
The value of champions character across all institutions is a message that we can all get behind.
The purpose behind Champions of Character is to have that student-athlete experience be one of growth.
Men's basketball on campus, we make sure that we give back with a smile and with a purpose.
Our goal as coaches is for our players to leave being better men, better husbands, better fathers, and better members in their community.
NAIA is Champions of Character.
Welcome back on the RC Sports Network. Mount Vernon went up big early on in the second half, but the Warriors say not so fast. Brody Parker just knocked down a three. It's his second of the afternoon. The Warriors back in front, 65-64. We've got less than 3 minutes to play. Whistle and a foul out high, as pivoting with it was Koning, and he got bumped and fouled. That'll be the fourth on Brody Parker, team's fifth. So again, the Warriors still have a couple fouls to play with here down the stretch. They themselves are in the bonus, as they have been for the last few minutes. And how about it after the thrilling 81-80 victory in overtime last night, going into a three and rolling it out, rebound down to Fisher. After the big overtime win last night, the Warriors look like we're in for an exciting finish once again. We've got 2.5 to go in this game, in a 1-point basketball game. Walters steps back, couple 11s going at it. He'll underhand flip and score off the window. Very patient by Gunnar Walters working against Trent Koning. It's a 3-point lead. It settles in the hands of Peyton Heiss. Reverse it around the floor for Gage. Into the corner it goes. Contested three is up and through by Carter Jones, and we're level at 67. Did we expect anything less than a close game in the final minutes from Garth Pleasant Arena? Walters just above the free throw line. That shot looked to be disrupted. It barely grazed the front of the rim, and coming away with it is Koning into the front court. 90 seconds to go in regulation, level at 67. Koning being marked by Brody Parker, who does have 4 fouls. Now it's Gage on him. Check that, that's Gunnar Walters on him. 3 from Heiss. It pops off the rim. Fisher and Brody Parker converged on the rebound, and he'll jog it into the front court as we hit the final minute of regulation. Still 16 to shoot for the Warriors as they go down low looking for Brett White. He lost it on the way up and controls it outside with 10 to shoot. Walters steps into a long three that's tapped out by Peyton Heiss and reset it to 20 with 40 seconds to go in the game. Now 10 to shoot as Fisher comes out to screen. He'll reset it for him. Bounce pass goes baseline. Brett White got fouled on the way up with 4 to shoot and 29 seconds to go in the game. So the shot clock the rest of the way will be off. To shoot free throws is Brett White in a tie game. White, a game high 26 points. 8 out of 12 from the floor today. Also has 6 rebounds and 1 assist to his stat line. That'll be the 5th foul on Carter Jones. So Jones has 5 and Mason Harvey with 5. The only Warriors really in any foul trouble are Brody Parker with 4 and Brett White, who has 3. Otherwise, everyone else has 2 or fewer. James Fisher, who had 4 fouls himself last night, has none here this afternoon. First free throw It will not go for Brett White. That's his first miss at the free throw line today, 8 out of 9, but has one more coming to try and break the tie. And again, the shot clock will be off. There's 29.2 seconds to go. Goes up with the second and pops it in, 68-67. As Milton Gage runs it across midcourt, he turns and calls timeout. And again, they can hold here for the final shot as there's 27.2 seconds remaining in the game. 68-67 is our score. Again, the Warriors led at the halftime break, 34-27, and they fell behind early in the second half. It was 20-3 out of the break for Mount Vernon Nazarene, but the Warriors stuck with it all the way and have come back to take the 1-point lead. And now, similar to last night and last Saturday before that, will have to come up with a stop here on the final possession if they want to hold on to a 1-point win. Last week got the block by Tamias Williams with 8 seconds to go in a 2-point game. Last night against Etchison, the leading scorer for Marion, it was Brody Parker that contested the game winner as the Warriors held on 81-80, and we'll see if they can come up with another stop here in the final 27 seconds as Mount Vernon draws something up with head coach Jared Roney. Coach Pleasant on the other side having a word with one of our officials as both teams make their way back out of the timeout. It'll be Devin Dreyer, the sophomore out of Dayton, to inbound it for the Cougars. He tosses in for Trent Koning, and here we go. Final 23 seconds of regulation. Warriors lead by 1. Milton Gage bounces it in, turning the corner, poking it loose, but drawing the foul is James Fisher. That'll be his first. He reached in, poked it loose, as Bailey Conrad tried to turn inside. Warriors still with a foul to give with 15.2 to go, and you wonder if the situation calls for it, might they use that foul with 15.2 to go as they inbound it to Bailey Conrad. 10 seconds to go in the game. Koning over to Conrad, being guarded by Fisher. He's going to drive in, goes in for the layup. It will not go, but a whistle and a foul on Fisher with 4.5 seconds to go. And this will mean free throws. Conrad needs 1 to tie. First free throws of the day for him, goes up with the first and splashes it in. We are tied at 68. His second free throw would give them the lead. Again, first free throws of the day for Conrad. His second one does go in, and it's a 1-point lead for the Cougars. 69-68 with 4.5 seconds to go. Warriors do have a couple timeouts left if they want to use one here to draw something up. And it looks like we will get a timeout called. 69-68. Bailey Conrad stepped to the free throw line for the first time today. He hits both free throws to give his team the 1-point lead. Timeout on the floor with 4.5 seconds to go.
The value of champions character across all institutions is a message that we can all get behind.
The purpose behind Champions of Character is to have that student-athlete experience be one of growth.
Men's basketball on campus, we make sure that we give back with a smile and with a purpose.
Our goal as coaches is for our players to leave being better men, better husbands, better fathers, and better members in their community.
NAI.
Here we go, final 4.5 seconds. Brett White will trigger on the inbound. And it looks like we'll get another timeout called as we just made our way back out of a timeout. And now this is interesting. If they do put Brett White on the inbound, he does have a game-high 27 on 8 of 12 shooting and 2 of 4 from three-point range. And if you're the Warriors, if this inbound can come anywhere near midcourt, there's a lot of things in play for you with 4.5 seconds to go. But again, we'll see if they do decide to stick with Brett White on the inbound feed. James Fisher also has 17. Brody Parker has 14. Those are the Warriors in double figures. And they will stick with Brett White on the inbound. And it looks like they'll put Isaiah Brown on the inbound. So here we go. Bounce pass comes into Brody Parker. 3 seconds, 2 seconds. He goes all the way in, and it goes! Brody Parker with the lay-in at the buzzer! 70-69, and the Warriors will survive! Absolute madness! He runs the floor in 4.5 seconds and wins it for Rochester Christian, who will go to 5-0. How about it? $70-69. Brody Parker plays the hero. He finishes with 16 points and 6 rebounds and the game winner. Last night he does it on the defensive end. Tonight he does it on the offensive end. Another 1-point win for the Warriors. Some final stats in this one before we sign off. The Warriors shoot at 42% from the floor in the win. 75% at the free throw line, as that was big for them down the stretch. Did not shoot it well at the line in the first half, but it helped them claw their way back here in the second. Brett White finishes with 27 points, 6 rebounds, and 1 assist. But my goodness, you should give him an assist for that inbounds feed on the game winner there. James Fisher, 17 points and 8 rebounds. And Brody Parker, again, 16 points and 6 rebounds, including the game winner as time expired on the other side for Mount Vernon in a heartbreaking loss. Bailey Conrad finishes with 18 points and 4 rebounds. Trent Koning, 15 points and 5 rebounds. And Peyton Heiss, just shy of a double-double, 9 points, 9 rebounds, and a pair of assists for him in the setback. But my goodness, what a game between the Warriors and the Cougars of Mount Vernon Nazarene. Another 1-point win for the Warriors here this afternoon. So for SID Hussein Murray, my name is Stephen McDonald saying so long from Garth Pleasant Arena, where your final score, one final time in dramatic fashion, Rochester Christian 70, Mount Vernon Nazarene 69. And this has been a presentation of the RC Sports Network.